Hi, welcome to today's video. My name is Paul. So this week you're going to see me doing a bit of watercolor landscape painting, and I'm going to talk about an artist who's kind of forgotten, but I think he's worth studying, especially if you have any interest in Impressionist art, post-Impressionist art, and the early days of modernism. He's a very important artist, but I say pretty much forgotten these days. He's a French artist. His name was Armand Guillaumin. That's probably the wrong pronunciation, but that's what I'm going with. So I say one of the most overlooked artists of that sort of Impressionist and early post-Impressionist periods. He was interested in art for a long time, but like a lot of us, he had other jobs. He wasn't a full-time artist, and sort of art was something maybe he could do at the weekends or in the evenings, but he didn't have a huge amount of time to devote to art. And then he won the lottery, the French state lottery, and it was a huge amount of money, so he quit his job, as a lot of people would in that situation. His job, he worked for the government or something, and he was a bridge inspector or something like this. I don't know, he went out and looked at bridges and checked them for safety or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, he quit that job and became a full-time artist. He was very close friends and an influence on some of the younger artists, including Cézanne, also other artists like Camille Pissarro. He was good friends with Camille, and he also became friends with, for example, Vincent Van Gogh, Gauguin, Seurat, Signac. He also he took part in about 6 of the 8 Impressionist exhibitions, so he knew Monet and Renoir and Degas and Sisley and all of those other Impressionist artists as well. But I think his closest friendship was with Pissarro and Cézanne. Vincent Van Gogh was a huge admirer of Guillaumin. He mentions him in about 36 of his letters to his brother Theo. So it wasn't just somebody that he mentioned once or something. He mentioned him in 36 separate letters. So he was obviously a big influence on Vincent's art, particularly landscape art. Guillaumin's art was a kind of ahead of its time. It was a kind of proto-Fauvist art. It was very colorful. It didn't look like the other Impressionists' paintings. It was much more colorful. He was kind of referred to as a furious colorist. This was before the term Fauvist came along. So a furious colorist. If you like color, if you like bright colors, I definitely recommend going and looking at this guy's artwork. They're very bright. Let's say he was a strong influence on some of the younger artists like Vincent Van Gogh, Gauguin, and also some of the post-Impressionists, Signac and Seurat. So an important artist. Unfortunately, these days he seems to be pretty much forgotten, but he's definitely worth looking into if you have an interest in that sort of time period and that style of painting. Anyway, this is my little painting today. It was very abstract, very loose. It was just sort of one of those days we just wanted to throw the paint down onto the paper and see what happened. But sometimes that's fun, and having fun with art, it doesn't always have to be deadly serious or producing the best art in the world. Sometimes just making a mess can be fun. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching, listening. Hopefully see you again in next week's video.